Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here, bringing you another pick'em episode. We're going into week two of the college football season and week one of the NFL seasons. We got a bunch of games for both college and the NFL that we're going to come in and pick against the spread. First off, though, Dwyer, how we doing today and how we feeling?
Doing great, Caden. Hopefully we do better this week with our picks. Going undefeated this week. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, last week out of the 10 college games we did pick, yours truly did go 5-5 in those games. Dwyer went 4-6. Some bad picks there, like me on good old UCLA, or both of us on North Carolina,
Oh,
or both of us on Bama,
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. That one was close, though, at least. These other ones
Yeah,
were nowhere
yeah,
close.
yeah.
So hopefully we're going to start off with a good week. We got a lot of games to talk about, so hopefully we can shoot those records right up. Starting off on Saturday morning, we have an interstate matchup as Iowa travels to Iowa State, where the Cyclones are a 3-point favorite.
I like Cyclones here. I think they had a good start to the year last week. I think they're gonna just run with it and take down Iowa week one or two.
No, I am with you there. I know we saw Iowa able to go and win last week. That's whatever. Iowa State's already had two games under their belt and a good win over K-State 2 weeks ago in Ireland. And then last week, Rocco Becht was 19 of 20 in the game. Completed night. So he's looking good. He's feeling his form. This Iowa team, I still have a lot of questions, especially on the offensive side of the ball. How effective are they really going to be? Yeah, their defense is going to be pretty decent, but I do think Iowa State's able to come in, pull this out. Three does seem a little low in my eyes, anyways, for this spread. I think this would be more like a 4.5 point spread, but give me Iowa State here -3, and I think we all walk away happy.
Typically, they usually are like the ones that take down that. Like they usually beat Iowa, right? Throughout the years, or is it kind of split?
I mean, it depends. I think it depends. Yeah, I think it's more
Yeah.
pretty split. Our next
Okay.
matchup, though, is the number 11 ranked Illinois fighting the Illini, traveling to take on the Duke Blue Devils, where Illinois is the 3-point favorite.
I am taking U of I here. Yeah, they're number 11 ranked team in the country against an unranked team. Um, seems like, it just seems like a pretty close line for that kind of team, you know. And U of I's got a pretty good squad this year, and I think this is like a must-win game if you want to try and stay in the college football playoffs. You want to actually have a chance at making it. So, give me Illinois here.
Yeah, I'm also on Illinois. I mean, Luke Altmaier is a good quarterback. If you guys have been listening for a while, you know how high me and Max were last year on this Illinois team. I think it's just kind of a continuation on what we saw last year in those games. But I do think this Illinois team is very good. Duke's still trying to figure out what their offense is like with the new quarterback after losing Malik Murphy in the offseason. So they're still trying to learn, figure out some things. This Illinois team is just better, even on the road, giving them -3. Our next matchup is a team that screwed us both last week, Dwyer, in the Baylor Bears, where they're going to be traveling to Dallas, where they'll be facing off against the SMU, where SMU is a 2.5 point favorite.
I'm going to be taking SMU here. Like you said last week, Baylor really just they looked very lackluster. Couldn't really run at all. Um, I think SMU is going to just take advantage of that, and this is a very vulnerable team right now in Baylor. So give me SMU.
Yeah, once again, I'm with you here. I am on SMU as well. I mean, you're returning a lot of their key players from last year's team, which was a playoff team. You're still bringing back Kevin Jennings over at the quarterback position, is who was one of the better quarterbacks last year. This team was a blunder of special teams away from winning the ACC championship game last season and getting a first round bye. That this team is good. And Baylor, yeah, like you said, they scored us last week. Sawyer Robertson did not look particularly great. That defense let Peyton Thorne run down their throats from that quarterback position. He had a very, very good game for them. So, yeah, SMU should be the better team, especially you get them at home here. They're for one of the first games of the season. Yeah, SMU should be able to come in and cover that 2.5 points. Next is our biggest spread of today's episode. as San Jose State will be traveling to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns, where they are a 36.5 point favorite.
Caden, we saw Texas last week. Pretty rough game to watch. I mean, that was tough. It was tough. Um, but I am gonna be taking Texas here, hitting the over on the spread, just because I feel like it's just they're gonna. I mean, Ohio State. I mean, that's as good as a defense as it's gonna get in college football, pretty much right now this year. Um, First game for Manning. I mean, this season obviously played a little bit last season, but it's gonna be a much easier matchup for him. And I think that like they're like screw it, like bad loss last week. I think we're gonna just like prove the nation wrong this week and just absolutely demolish these poor San Jose State players. Like they don't know what's coming.
I'm with you there. I do think Texas will be able to come in and be able to cover this. I think probably pretty easily. I think that the final score ends up being more like a 50-7 ish range because this Texas defense is still one of the best in the country. The San Jose State's gonna have a very difficult time trying to score at all in this game. And yeah, we saw last year in Arch's two starts, he played two group of five teams at home. He dominated both of those games. Now you get him once again against a group of five team in the San Jose State Spartans, who last week were a 13.5 point favorite at home against Central Michigan and lost to the Chippewas after missing two field goals in that game. That this San Jose team may not be as good as we might have thought coming into the season. And yeah, you just got to kind of wash off what happened last week in the shoe and go in. Archie's have settled down here, stop overthrowing all of his passes, and come in and have a good solid victory, a little bit of a confidence booster as you're working way up through this season. And now going to another matchup we have in this Saturday afternoon slate is the Kansas Jayhawks, where they'll be traveling to Missouri to take on the Tigers, where the Tigers are a 6.5 point favorite.
Ken, I'm gonna say that Kansas covers here. I know they're gonna be on the road, which obviously hurts being an underdog, but I like that 6.5 point line. I feel like they're gonna keep that within reach of Missouri. I don't think Missouri is that good of a team. Um, just give me the Jayhawks here.
Yeah, this is one I thought maybe we'd have different, but we are the same here. I'm also on Kansas plus the 6.5.
I did.
As we've already seen some injuries to this Missouri offense. We've already seen their quarterback go down. We're going to see how mobile, healthy he really is coming in. And Kansas hasn't looked bad to start this season. Jalen Daniels at quarterback still there, going into his like fifth or sixth year there. He's a good quarterback when he's healthy. It's just for a full season, we haven't seen him be healthy. He's healthy right now, and that bodes very well for this Kansas Jayhawks team going into Missouri. Yeah, that's a tough place to play. It's an SEC school, but they should be able to do enough to keep this close, keep it within that touchdown spread. And just there's a lot of question marks, I think, with the health and effectiveness of Missouri's quarterback play going on this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Also, now we got one of the two new FBS teams this year in the Delaware Blue Hens. We'll be traveling to Boulder to take on the 0-1 Colorado Buffaloes, who are a 23.5 point favorite.
I'm gonna be taking the Buffaloes here, hitting the over. Like you said, Delaware, they're new, and I feel like it's gonna just be an absolute mismatch. I don't think Dion's gonna let his team lose again. Especially against. I mean, it's gonna be a lot easier of an opponent, obviously. Um, so I think Colorado's gonna try and they have something to prove this week. Kind of the same thing as Texas. Like 0-1. Like let's get back on track with an easy matchup, and I think they're gonna roll.
Yeah, 100%. I do think that we'll cover this 23.5 point spread. Delaware is not a great team by any means. And CU is a lot. I think they are a decent enough team, though. They will be, I think, a bowl eligible team come season's end. So with this team, I mean, need to see a little bit better out of Caden Salter, who didn't look up to level in that first game against Georgia Tech. And this defense it's going to help them, maybe give them a little confidence boost. So they just have to stop the run. Like they gave up over 200 rushing yards against Georgia Tech last week. And while Delaware is nowhere near that level, 23.5 is a lot of points. So to be able to cover, you can't give up points. So stop the run. This team should be fine. They should be able to cover this 23.5 point spread. Now, though, Dwyer, we get another interesting matchup between a Power Four and Group of Five team, as the West Virginia Mountaineers will be traveling to take on the Ohio Bobcats, where West Virginia is a 3.5 point favorite.
I'm going to be taking West Virginia here, just purely based on conference. Obviously they should be a better team. They have the conference strength in general, they're going to be better than like a mid-major school like that. So I'm taking West Virginia here. The 3.5 is a tough little hook, but I do think they get it done.
Ohio,
Whoa.
come on. I got faith in this. I mean, West Virginia, I don't think they're a great team by any means. Definitely towards the lower end of the Big 12 as one of those teams. And Ohio is one of the, I think, definitely one of the top teams in the MAC. I think up there with like Toledo. I think that's probably what we'll see in that MAC championship come season. Then Parker Navarro was still there at quarterback. He led them to a MAC championship last season and looked really good last week in their first game. But I think 3.5, I think that hook might come to cost West Virginia come game's end. I also could see Ohio coming in pulling out this upset, coming in winning this game against West Virginia, but especially with it being 3.5 and not a flat three, give me Ohio here in this matchup for finally, it seems like Dwyer, our first disagreement this episode.
I know. Copying
Yeah.
me, dude.
Next game, though, is our one ranked on ranked matchup of the weekend, and that is the number 14 Michigan Wolverines traveling to take on the number 18 ranked Oklahoma Sooners, where Oklahoma is a 5.5 point favorite.
Cade, I'm gonna be taking the upset here. I'm taking Michigan. I think that this is a good team. I think this team's better than Oklahoma. And although they are going to be on the road, I think they're not going to just beat the spread. I do think they're going to beat them. I just, I like Michigan. I'm a big Michigan guy. Um, and I just feel like this is going to be a win their way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like either of these teams. I don't think either of those teams are particularly great. But where I do think Oklahoma has an advantage over Michigan is in the quarterback play for sure. I think John Mateer is at least right now, a much better quarterback than Bryce Underwood. I mean, he didn't look awful last week. He didn't look great. He didn't like nothing. Just he was there. He looked okay in his first career college game. John Mateer is an experienced veteran at the quarterback position. We saw him over at Washington State the last couple years. Looked good in his debut for Oklahoma. Even though I'm not high on this Oklahoma team, I think at home against Michigan, they're going to be able to exploit the youthfulness and immatureness of Bryce Underwood, be able to force a couple turnovers, come in, win this game by a touchdown ish, win, cover that 5.5 point spread. So now it's back to back disagreement as far as do I hear.
Mm,
High on Bryce Underwood, are we?
I like them. I think it's. I gotta have some upsets in there. I haven't been picking a lot of upsets. That's kind of like my upset of the week.
Okay. Next game we got is the Arizona State Sun Devils traveling to take on Mississippi State, where ASU is a 6.5 point favorite.
I'm gonna be taking Arizona State here. I think they're gonna beat them pretty handedly. Um, and I just don't think Mississippi State's a very good team. And I like this line. I don't think it's like too. You said 6.5, correct?
6.5, yeah.
So I think they're beaten by a touchdown at least.
Yeah, this line I think is way too low. I think if I would put Arizona State probably an 8.5 point favorite in this game. I'm loving Arizona State in this matchup. Probably one of my favorite plays of the weekend here is the Arizona State minus 6.5. Because like this Mississippi State team, they are not that good of a football team. Just plain and simple. Like they are one of the worst teams in the SEC, which yeah, that's still good comparatively to Group of Five schools. But when you're comparing a bottom feeder of the SEC to who, in my opinion, will win the Big 12 this season, yeah, there's a big difference there in my eyes. I think this ASU team with Sam Levitt over at quarterback is one of the better teams in college football. They're going to be able to come in and they're going to win this game handily, easily. I don't think the cover's ever going to be a question for us, Dwyer.
Money. Good way to agree on right there.
Yeah. Now, also in this night slate, in our last college football game that we are here to talk about is the Vanderbilt Commodores traveling to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies, where Va Tech is a 1.5 point favorite.
I'm gonna be taking Virginia Tech here. Um, just close. Obviously, at 1.5 point, spread right there. It's very close. I'm just taking the home team here, and I think they'll get the job done.
This is, I think, in my eyes, this was the hardest pick of any of the college games we were talking about because I do like this Vanderbilt team. I like Diego Pavia, but Virginia Tech, they were able to keep it close against South Carolina for a good majority of that game. I mean, really, the only reason they didn't even that they didn't cover that game was because of the. I mean, the only reason was because of that pick six. But they were hanging close. They were playing good defense against one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And I like Diego Pavia. He's nowhere near a top quarterback in college football or anything like that. And Virginia Tech, it's their home opener. You're gonna hear Enter Sandman before that. It's the most electric walkout in college football. Come on, Virginia Tech, they're coming in. They're going to cover this 1.5 against Vandy.
For sure.
Now, though, Dwyer, let's move on to the NFL. Week one of the NFL. And because we're recording this on a Tuesday, we're able to get the Thursday night games in for this one. So, starting off, first game of this year's NFL season is the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Eagles are an 8.5 point favorite.
Give me the birds in this one. I just don't like the Cowboys this year, man. I mean, obviously, you kind of just signal how you're feeling about your team when you trade your best defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league away, in
Probably
Michael
the best
Parsons.
player on their team. The
The
best
best
player
player,
on their team.
exactly. You trade your best player on your team. You're not looking to compete this year. Although you did, I like the addition of George Pickens, and yes, Dak Prescott's healthy, and so is CeeDee Lamb, but they don't have a run game, and yes, I mean their defense it just took a huge step back, and the Birds are still the Birds, man. So give me the Eagles all day.
I'm with you. Give me the birds. They're going to come in at home. I mean, coming off a Super Bowl, like everyone's going to be amped up. And like you said, if you trade away your best player, one of the best players in football, right before the season starts, because you don't want to pay him, that shows you're not trying to win. And while their offense might not be terrible this year, that defense isn't going to be pretty good. And this Eagles team is going to be able to put up a lot of points, I think, Thursday night. Come in, win this game by at least 10 points. At double digits, at 10, that's the worst. That's bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If yeah, more likely, my eyes, two touchdowns to two touchdowns plus.
At
I,
least.
as much as it sucks to hear, I don't think we're going to get a good first NFL game of the season.
No. That's your Saquon overs, everybody. That's
Yeah.
your Saquon overs.
But in Friday, I hope we do get our first good NFL game of the season. The NFL decided to go back to Brazil, where everyone was slipping last year. We're going to get another divisional matchup as the Chiefs will be taking on the Chargers, where the Chiefs are a 3 point favorite.
Caden, I like the Chargers in this little line here. Chargers are a good team, man. I mean, the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, quarterbacks, or not quarterback, sorry, coaching second year with the Chargers. Um, I've liked what they did with the offense this year, man. I love them picking up Hampton. I mean, I thought J.K. Dobbins is a good running back, but Hampton, I mean, you just bring in, that's a different kind of dude, a first round running back like that. I liked what they did in the wide receiver game. I thought bringing back Keenan Allen was smart in that veteran role. Trey Harris, I know he's a second or third rounder, good little player out of Mississippi or Ole Miss. Um, and yeah, I think this is going to be a big year for Herbert. We saw him at the end of last year just absolutely like go on a huge run the last month of the year. And I love the Chiefs too. I think they're gonna be a good team once again. But I feel like this is just one of those like last year. I think it was the Lions or 2 years ago, when the Lions took out the Chiefs that week one. Everyone was kind of like, I'm kind of feeling that same kind of energy this year with the Chargers.
Yeah, this one's interesting because, yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. You still have Mahomes, Andy Reid, like all the usual suspects are still there. I do like you said, I like a lot of the moves this Chargers team made this offseason with Hampton, Trey Harris, you bring back Keenan Allen, like all those things you said, I think are great moves for this team. You still have Justin Herbert. I do like this Chargers team, and I think just like you were saying, this might be what we saw a couple years ago with that Lions. Even with it being in Brazil, a little weird. Chargers, I think, probably come in, cover, possibly win this game, depending. I mean, yeah, I mean, if they're covering the three, I could very well see them winning. It's just, I think it'll be a close game. Probably not that high scoring, though.
I'm with that.
Yeah. Now going to Sunday, kicking it off in our morning slate is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to take on the Falcons, where the Bucks are a 2.5 point favorite.
Give me the Bucks all day here. Um, I'm not a big Penix guy. I'm not a big believer in him at all. At least nothing last year what I saw proved to me that like this guy's gonna be the man yet. Um, but Baker Mayfield, I love Baker. He's proven it the past 2 years, and I think even though they're missing Godwin, or at least for the first month, I mean, you still got Mike Evans, you got that new kid from Ohio State, uh, big dog Bucky Irvin. I think this team's gonna go in. I mean, I think they're gonna roll the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons are a very good team.
No, I'm 100% with you on this. Yeah, I love Bijan. I like Drake London a lot. With you 100%, though. I don't think Michael Penix showed anything last year that makes you think, yeah, I think he could be the future. He could be that guy. I think a lot of inconsistency still there. We'll see what improvements he's made, but I think the Bucks are a much better team than the Falcons offensively and defensively. And yeah, you still have Emeka Buka is the guy from Ohio State. Very high on him this year. He's been great during like training camp preseason. Yeah, without Godwin, he's going to slide into that number two option. Bucky Irving was awesome last year as a rookie. I think he's going to have a good start to his season this year as well. So yeah, Bucks -2.5. I'm with you, Dwyer. This should be a very easy cover for us. Now we got the Raiders traveling to New England to take on my New England Patriots, where the Pats are a 2.5 point favorite.
This is a tough one, Caden. This is a really tough one. I mean, you got two new coaches, or former coaches that are now back coaching in the league, in Carroll and Vrabel. Um, but I like the Pats in this one. I do. I think just because being home does help them in my eyes. Um, I don't like this Raiders team right now. I got there's too much unknown with them. We don't know how Gentsy's going to be yet. We don't know how this is going to work under Pete Carroll yet. And I guess you could say the same thing with Vrabel and the Patriots. But again, they're at home, and it's just I don't know. The Patriots are winners, man. I feel like they're going to take down the Raiders here.
I love everything you said there. And yeah, I mean, but for the yeah, there's a lot of still uncertainty with the Raiders. What's that offense going to look like with Geno now at the helm? I don't think that defense is going to be that particularly good by any means. And they're looking at New England. Yeah, it's different and a little new with yeah, you're bringing in Mike Vrabel as head coach. Look at the offensive side of the ball, though. You're bringing back someone in Josh McDaniels who knows what it's like to win, knows what it's like to win with this organization, how to build a great offense. And yeah, he might suck as the head coach. Everyone knows he's an awful head coach. He's an amazing OC. He knows what he's doing at that job. And to get him building with Drake, still building up that offense, you got stuff like Pop Douglas at receiver. Ramondre Stevens is still there, but the big guy, the big one, Travion Henderson, rookie running back, Ohio State, looked incredible in the preseason. Looks like he's going to be a true force for this team out of the backfield, RB1, maybe even coming on Sunday. Like we might see him out carry Ramondre week one. I think this offense is going to be pretty good, and I think the defense is going to take a big step forward from what we saw last year, bringing Terrell Williams to be your DC. Worked with Vrabel before, bringing in Milton Williams, the tackle, Robert Spillane, a linebacker. I think was a great signing. You still have one of the top corners in football, in Christian Gonzalez. They're coming in. They're winning week one. They're covering this 2.5 against the Raiders.
Good call with McDaniels. Revenge game
Yeah.
too. That's the Raiders. I forgot about that.
Actually, yeah, revenge game Raiders.
Ain't no way he's gonna. Yeah, ain't no way. Give me them
Well,
all the
and
way.
now we're going to talk about the other team he used to coach, as the Denver Broncos are at home against the Tennessee Titans, where the Broncos are a 7.5 point favorite.
That's 7.5. Ah, I wish it was 6.5. I really did, but I'm still gonna be taking the Broncos in this one. I don't think the Titans are that good. Um, I'm intrigued by Ward. I don't know. He doesn't really have many targets. I mean, Tony Pollard, he's all right. Like he kind of was we saw what he was last year, about 1,000 yard back. Um, but Broncos are at home here. I mean, we're both very high on the Broncos. I think they win this one easily, and I do think they cover the spread here.
Yeah, I think they cover this 7.5. I don't really think Cam Warren's going to be that good. Like you said, there's no targets really for him in that offense either. That team's just not that good as a whole. And if you guys listen to our stock market episode that came out yesterday, we were both very high on the Broncos, talking them up. I think they'll have the best defense in football this year. And they're going to come in, make a statement week one at home, come in and, yeah, cover that 7.5 pretty easily. Now, a very interesting game in this afternoon slate as the Detroit Lions are traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers, where the Packers are a 2.5 point favorite.
Caden, give me the Lions all day here. Even though the Packers are at home, not a big Packers guy, as if you could hear the big Bears fan here too. But I mean, Lions, man. I mean, I don't think they lose this game. I don't think there's a way they lose this game. And I think, yeah, I mean, sure, there's question marks. You don't have your OC, you don't have Ben Johnson anymore, but they do have his assistant from last year, but you got Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell, he's the man. He's the man amongst men, dude. Like he's a leader. He's proven it with this Lions. This sorry Lions franchise has never been able to win ever, and he's just like turned them into like it's been godsend for him since he's been there. And I think nothing changes. I think they're going to go in, and I think they're going to roll. And I think there's a chance they're talking about Parsons might not even play,
Mm.
which that was the whole big thing. And if he's not going to play, that even makes it even better in my eyes. Take the Lions here.
Oh yeah, I'm on the Lions as well. Yeah, like you said, they lost a lot of big pieces this offseason in the coaching staff, but still have Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Montgomery, one of, if not the best O lines, and not the best, but one of the best O lines in football. Have a good defense. Like this line seems just better than the Packers. Yeah, you're going to Lambeau to take on Green Bay, but this line seems a lot more, I think, just together as a team, like coming into week one, they know each other, I think, a lot better. They already are one of the best offenses in football. I don't think Green Bay is going to be able to keep up. Like you said, I think the Lions will win this game as well, even though they are the 2.5 point dogs.
Another thing too, also sorry, but they're healthy this year. They weren't healthy at all last year. Like their entire defense was completely just like gone. I mean, they lost
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery at the end of the year. Like they're all healthy. Like there's no way they lose this game. No way. Lock of the week. That's my lock of the week. Dwyer's lock of the week.
Dwyer's lock of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, also in our afternoon slate, we have the Houston Texans traveling to LA to take on the Rams, where the Rams are a 2.5 point favorite.
Give me Texans. I love Texans. I talked about them again, how I do like them this year. But Rams scare me, man, with Matt Stafford. He's been beat up all camp. He hasn't, I mean, he's a veteran. He's had a lot of. Is his stats, is he good to go week one? I don't know. Um,
Supposedly,
so if he's good, if he didn't get a lot of reps. I'm not big on the Rams this year. He didn't look very good to me last year. I thought he honestly should have retired after last year, Stafford. And I'm very high on the Texans this year. As I said, I think having a healthy Nico Collins just completely just changes everything for them. And even though they're dogs in this game, give me the Texans.
if Matthew Stafford was healthy, I would 100% be on this Rams team. I, with a healthy Matthew Stafford, I think this Rams team wins their division easily and is able to make a pretty deep playoff run. But especially week one, where we still have a lot of questions about Stafford and the health of his back and how it's going to hold up, and if he's going to be able to be an efficient quarterback throughout a whole 4 quarter game. I don't know. That's a lot of question marks for me. And with that, I'm going to be on your side with the Texans. Yeah, they have one of the best defenses in the league. I still like Stroud, Nico. They might not be able to run the ball well because you're relying on Nick Chubb, but I think their offense will be good enough. They're going to come in and be able to cover that 2.5.
Caden, there's not a lot of games left here, man.
No. How about Sunday Night Football, though, as the Ravens are traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills, where the Bills are a 1.5 point favorite?
Give me the Ravens, man. Give me the Ravens. I love the Ravens. I think they like from what we saw last year in the game, Mark Andrews dropping that pass, like they got that chip in their shoulder, like we were dominating you that whole game. We should have won that game, and I think they're gonna whoop them. Honestly, I do. I think it's gonna be Ravens just slaughterfest,
Slaughterfest in Buffalo?
slaughterfest in Buffalo, dude. I think it's gonna be the shock of the week.
See, this is interesting because, I mean, obviously, these are two of the best teams in football right here. I'd like the Ravens. I mean, if you guys look at our stock market episode once again, the Ravens were both of our Super Bowl picks for the season. We both really like this Ravens team. It's just, I think it's very tough for them to come in, win week one in Buffalo. I'm going with the Bills. I think they're going to be able to come in, get it done week one. Well, I do think the Ravens, come season's end, will be the better team. I think to start the season, being at home will benefit and help this Bills team. Josh Allen come in, pull out the dub and get that cover for me.
Finally disagree on an NFL game, huh? Uh-huh.
To the second to last game. Now, though, Dwyer,
Yeah.
for Monday Night Football, the debut of J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings traveling to take on your Chicago Bears, where the Vikings are a 1.5 point favorite.
Okay, and I like the Bears at home, man. Bear down, baby, bear down. Especially as dogs too at home. He said, man, McCarthy, this is his NFL debut, man. He's a rookie, man. He really is. He doesn't have any experience here, and this is, I mean, it's tough going on the road, especially at an in-division rival like that. Like that's not going to be easy for, I mean, anybody. Um, and I'm really high on the Bears this year. Unfortunately, I think Ben Johnson. I think this offense is going to be rolling again. I like what they did defensive wise. I think this is just going to be a better. I think they're going to be a better team than the Vikings this year. Um, and I think they take care of the Vikings here week one, Monday night.
Bang on.
Mhm.
Come on. Like, they're winning this game. They're point out like they're winning this game. Like J.J. McCarthy's not that good. It's his NFL debut. There's going to be a lot of, I think, jitters. You're still trying to be like figure it out 100%. I will say he's going to throw a pick in this game. And the Bears, like you said, they bring in Ben Johnson, who is one of the best offensive minds of football. This offense is going to be very, very good this season, I think. I think we're going to see a big step up from Caleb Williams. You still have a lot of these good guys. You drive Luther Burton, Colson Loveland. I like this Bears team. I don't see them at the top of the division. I'm with you, though. I do see them ahead of the Vikings come season's end and come Monday Night Football end, as I do have the Bears coming in, covering that 1.5 point spread and winning this ball game.
Now Bears, baby, let's go.
The Bears. You know, Dwyer, we just went through 19 games and we had like 4 disagreements.
Great minds think alike.
Hopefully, great minds think alike. And us. I got these two dumb minds over here.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, we come back next week. It's like, yep, that's right. I went 19-0. Dwyer went 15-4.
What about 17-2? I'll take a 17
I
and two.
like that. Let's go 17-2.
17-2 sounds nice.
Come back
I'm
next
taking
week to see how.
Ravens are winning though, dude. They're taking it. They're taking that game. I don't care.
Come back next week to see if we go 17-2 or not. If you guys did enjoy today's episode of the Untouchaballs podcast, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment down below what your thoughts are on all these games. Who's your lock of the week as well? Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of the Untouchaballs podcast, and share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.